Okay, another question that was asked was that I guess I kind of skimmed over in the other videos was roughly how my system is wired up. Um, Now, everybody who does home recording has their own way of doing things. I'm not saying mine is the best. I'm not even going to suggest you go and buy what I use. Everybody's is different, but the basics are pretty much the same. And that is basically you have a microphone on the instrument and it goes into some type of interface. The interface is the tool that converts the analog sound you want to record into digital when you're recording into a computer. There has to be a way to convert it. You can record directly into your computer and it does an okay job, but there is a part in this in the sound path, the signal path, where when you're converting analog to digital, that you lose warmth and punch. Now, I've experimented with a lot of things, and I'll be honest, recording on reel-to-reel has the best punch on tape. You're recording to tape. Digital, you get all the clarity, and then it's after you're trying to build up the warmth after. In all these small kind of studio setups in the basement like my own here, I found that the biggest challenge. So anyways, I recently switched over to this Mackie board, and it's a bigger one. I've always used Mackie board, I just like them. Whereas I was originally using, let me move this, a smaller 16 channel board. And I just found that even though this board is cool for live situations, and it was okay for recording, I just found I was losing or not getting the roundness and the bigger sound that I was striving for. So I went to this board, which is an actual Mackie recording board. This is an older board. They've sold thousands and thousands of these boards. So the reason why I picked this is because the preamp's in it, and the preamp is key to getting a warmer sound. Whereas the other Mackie, the way it's wired up, it actually bypasses the good part of that board. For whatever reason, that's a kind of an odd thing. That's why it's strictly a live board and not so much what they call a recording board. But at least with this bigger board now, when the signal path comes from the microphone into the back, it's hard to see, but in behind are all the mic. In behind this here is a meter bridge, and all the green lights and everything will come flying up here when all the signals are on the channel. But in behind are all the mic plugins. So the signal path goes into the board and actually goes through the EQing of each of the strips. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to have a little more control there. You can still record with that smaller Mackie board and do your EQing afterwards. I just found I was doing a lot more software related EQing than I would have liked. So anyways, signal path basically comes from, like, say, this drum set. This drum set here goes into your soundboard, and the mics are basically for this drum set are right over here. You can see them all, and I've got them up to, roughly about here. So there's 15. Sometimes I use more. I've got these 3 here as guitar and bass, but I also use them for certain drum ones also. And I mean, you don't have to have a soundboard. You can basically go direct into your interface, but I'm old school. I like to have the sliders. I like to be able to control things by hand, not software. So anyways, microphones come into the board. You have to get the signal from the board into your computer, which mine is down here. And and obviously I have my monitor there. So you need a interface. This is mine. This is a Mode 2 interface. It's a 24 in out, meaning 24 in, 24 out. It means 24 tracks can go in, 24 come out. So with this unit, this unit alone, I can run 24 microphones into my computer at one time, meaning I can have an orchestra down here and record them all, and the computer will actually handle it. I've tried 24 tracks, and believe me, it actually works. I can also daisy chain 3 of these to add 24 times 3 tracks, so that's quite a lot of tracks. I'm not going to get that crazy. 24 is actually fine for me right now. So basically, from the soundboard, comes out and goes into the interface. This is crucial to recording, and I kind of recommend this to anybody who is not computer savvy, because it's really simple, really simple unit to use. Not a lot of brain work to connect it. On this board, this particular soundboard, and the others Mackie board I have, in the back where you plug in the microphones, on most soundboards you'll see insert cables, and the insert cables, basically you can run on an individual strip. You can run an insert cable that will allow maybe its own effect through an insert cable. It has to be like a stereo insert cable, and you can loop, say, a compressor on one track only, and it won't affect any of the other ones. But also on these boards are direct outs, and those direct outs, 1/4 inch, are what goes into the interface. Okay, that's in my recording situation. So it goes from the board out through each individual track's direct out into basically its own track in here. So remember, 24 tracks here going 24 into there. Now, how does it go into the computer? Basically, this module has a cable, computer cable, that goes into the back of my computer. All fine wire, digital. And it connects to, with this Mode 2 unit, you get a card. There's variable models of this. If you have an older computer, you would be using a PCI card. That's a computer card. You plug in, there's slots in your computer, you open it up, and you can see it at the very back of the computer, there's slots. So you plug this PCI card into the computer, you'll see another plug that sticks out the back. That's where the cable for the Mode 2 goes. My computer is newer, so it's using a PCIe slot. The difference between the two is quite simple. The PCIe slot is smaller, very tiny. You know, it's maybe an inch. There's 2 sections, I think. One section is maybe an inch, and the other is maybe 1/2 an inch, and plugs into a slot. They both work relatively the same way, only the PCIe slot is a lot faster, more reliable. So Mode 2 runs into the PCIe slot on my computer and feeds the computer the signal that's been converted to digital. Now, when you see it up on the screen, with the Mode 2, you have your own software, and this is it. So basically, all the tracks I'm using, you can see the sliders. They actually coincide with numbers on the screen here. So you can see like channel 1, 2, all the way to 24. So this is 24 analog in. Here's the meter, basically, not your meter, but for your bit rate. You don't really need to worry about that right now. And this is the out.